Alright, One Piece chapter 1032. Not as polarizing. Interesting, some strong opinions. A lot of things happened. Maybe too much, some have been saying. But overall, a very fun chapter. So many quotes from this chapter, not necessarily from people or characters in the chapter, but from people around the community. Apparently, Zoro canonically cannot defeat someone without knowing their race. Not something that I said. That's just what it is. Yo, a very fun chapter. Don't take any of this seriously. Just having a good time with the story. So much, okay? We're gonna get into it. So this video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. Surfshark, which is a virtual private network, is an award-winning VPN. You may think it's something you probably don't need, or you don't understand what a VPN does or how it works. Well, I'll break it down for you. A VPN is your own private network that you can use to protect your information while streaming, shopping, or just casually browsing the internet. It's funny because incognito mode to some people is very secure, but fun fact, all it means is that your browser doesn't save cookies. Your ISP can still track your activity and collect your data. It also does not stop websites from seeing your location. Yeah, crazy, right? With Surfshark VPN, it blocks ads, trackers, malware, and even phishing attempts from users trying to steal your information. You can use Surfshark to protect yourself, and you can do all this with one account, because one account covers unlimited household devices. So to start browsing safely, click the link below, use code B.D.A for 83% off and 4 months free. Yeah, I get it. Knowing you're exposed is terrifying, but use my link and protect yourself and sign up for Surfshark. Let's start with the cover story. Well, cover art request, because it's not a cover story because it's not canon. However, it's Yamato, and Yamato is making a delivery with black cats. I'm going to be honest. I love Yamato, I really do. But we're seeing so much of her in the arc. I would like different characters in the cover art requests. But I understand. There have been characters before that were in the arc that has been a part of the cover art request. So it's cool. I mean, you know what? I'm nitpicking. Seeing Yamato is always cool. I guess I'd rather see what she's doing in the story. You know what I mean? All right, so let's kick it off. Izo and Marco. It's a tit for tat. Izo saves Marco, Marco saves Izo. They have that type of relationship where they can go back and forth. It seems like they act like brothers almost, right? Where Marco talks smack, Izo talks smack, but they support each other and they have each other's back, right? So for the most part, it exemplifies exactly what Whitebeard was preaching, or the culture he had on his ship, right? Where you're all my sons, so that makes you brothers, you know, and that's how they're treating each other. So that's great to see. So for someone like Ace, as much as he loved Luffy and loved Sabo, he had brothers all around him. That's why it hurt him so much when he lost Thatch, because a brother killed another brother, and for him, he understands the loss of a brother. So I didn't mean to go there, I'm sorry. I just love Ace. So anytime I can talk about Ace in any scenario, you're gonna hear it, all right? So the castle being on fire is a huge plot point, okay? Because everyone now is trying to get away, not just the Alliance members, but people that are part of Kaido's faction too. They're saying, we gotta get out of here, okay? I don't wanna die. I'm gonna fight for you, Kaido, but I don't wanna burn to death. I love the fact that Oda threw in Big Mom just to let us know that Big Mom is still okay. No matter how many attacks she's taken, she's still up and ready to fight Kid-in-Law. We gotta wait from that. I would have liked to see some of that, but I understood. We got so much of that in the last chapter, saw awakenings, etc. I guess we'll see Bigger Mom next time. Apu, Yamato, X Drake, a very interesting trio that I did not expect. However, things played out the way they did, and now they're interacting with each other. Apu's a weird character. I don't know if I know anybody who says Apu's their favorite character, but people find him interesting, right? It's like, oh man, Apu. He's a central figure when Oda wants weird things to happen. Kind of reminds me of an upgraded Caribou almost, right? Where he's going to be interesting, I think, for the entirety of the story, because that's the type of character he is. Inquisitive, curious, and just annoying. The thing I cared about most here was, of course, CP0 going after Nico Robin, and it's scary, as I mentioned before, but Oda cleverly made it so that they were separated, okay? So he's buying Nico Robin some time. I'm not sure where this is going. Is she going to get captured? Is Oda building things a bit? But I have high expectations for CP0. Now, people have always been talking about this. Are these two guys the two top dogs? They talked about the masked agents who are the elites, but they got caught unexpectedly by this giant ball of fire. Now, you jump to observation hockey, but we know how it works in One Piece. It works when it works, okay? But now they're separated, and this thing, it's driving a wedge, not only between CP0, Robin, and Brook, but also in regards to the numbers. It doesn't see friend or foe, right? It's fire. So it's attacking everyone. So at this point, everyone is just trying to survive, right? And Yamato's mission is to get down to the armory, to either get rid of the bombs and the cannons and all that stuff, so that therefore, once that thing gets down there, it doesn't just explode before Onigashima lands on the capital. So again, it's a race against time. It's so many things going on. It's leaving fire in its trail. It's a lot you gotta worry about. I wonder what she's gonna use Fuga for. Like, can Fuga send it back upward with an ear slash or an ear attack or something like that? But it makes sense for Yamato to be able to control the numbers because she is the young master, right? So other than Kaido, it seems like she has authority. Maybe King, Queen, and Jack probably had something over her. Okay, maybe not Jack, but King and Queen. But other than that, she's the young master. At this point, we talked about him and him being interesting. He just got more interesting because now he's taking pictures and he's saying he's going to sell them to Morgans. So I'm like, bro, you're a freelance photographer? Like, what are you doing? Why do you just pull out a Den Mushi and take a picture of CP0? Is Apu the reason why everyone is going to know what went down in Wano? But he's making sense though. He's like, whoa, the lapdogs of the Celestial Dragons, they're in Kaido's castle. They lost Dofi, who's the middle dude, so now they're here dealing directly with scum like Orochi and Kaido. Oh man, this is a big scoop. He's right. This is big news, but like they said, you should have just shut up. What I loved about this is that this short dude has been getting so much hype, and that was a hype moment. He just immediately attacked Apu and said you should have kept your mouth shut. And then Apu, of course, seemed like he was knocked out, but he really wasn't, because then he protected in some ways X Drake from this guy. What to expect from this guy, I'm not sure, but he's been hyped up for a long time in this story, and so I expect great things from him. Just gonna be honest. X Drake and his secret, big news, major news. Expect a video on this, but I don't know if they know he's a member of SWORD, but they know he's a Marine. So for them, taking out a Marine is like, why, right? This person is obviously undercover for a reason. Do they know the reason? And the reason why I like this guy is that he doesn't talk that much, but he's a man of action. I mean, Apu doing this, as surprising as it was, it's expected because he's just slimy. It's crazy that he has an odd way of making friends, right? Because now X Drake is like, okay, now I gotta fight with him because there are two of them, so I need him. And Apu knows that, so it's like he's making himself useful. So I think that's it. I think Apu, more than anything, he always makes himself useful. Because for Kaido, I mean, who knows if he had another DJ on hand? He needed Apu. Apu let him know, yo, I can spin on the ones and twos and nobody can do it like me. Look at my arms. So, you know, I like that about him. The fact that they're arguing back and forth is interesting though, but Apu now knows that X Drake is a Marine. Like I said, he's an upgraded caribou. He likes taking information to different people, using it, just selling information, getting in where he fits in, resourceful. Very resourceful. Now, him not being knocked out, he said he can use armor in hockey. Which, you know, I guess you play like you're knocked out, then you bounce back. It's one of those things. It's One Piece, you know what I mean? But of course, now we have the long arm versus the long arm, and you have X Drake versus the short CP0 guy. The outcome that I would like is that Apu and X Drake get bodied. However, I understand the importance of these two in this arc. They're two supernova, right? The tides are changing, and so therefore, it's not going to be as easy as I expect. Of course, Apu and X Drake, they should be weakened. They've been fighting for a while. They've been fighting each other, and these two should be relatively fresh. So I don't know. Interesting matchup. I would love to see this extended in the anime, but we gotta wait and see. Now we get to outside, and it's Zoro versus King, where King is tossing Zoro around like a rag doll. Now, I made an entire video about my thoughts on Zoro versus King and how I think Zoro can overcome King. Link in description box down below if you want to check that out after you watch this video. But here's some of my general thoughts on this fight. I think King is impressive. That attack where he pulled whatever his face back and sent a beam towards Zoro that he could not block, that was surprising, hilarious, and it feels so much like Oda just doing something that we do not expect. That face that King made, it's like, what the hell is that, bro? But it's so destructive, someone like Zoro could not block it. Again, Zoro could not block it. Zoro blocked a combined attack from two Yonko, at least for a little while. For this one, he's like, I couldn't block it. Maybe because it threw him off, he wasn't prepared for it, but it's still crazy to me that he couldn't block that, right? And that's not to Zoro's detriment at all. This is just showing just how impressive King is. Now, I'm not saying King's attack power is higher than any of the Yonko, but it is pretty up there. And I like how Oda keeps throwing things in about like how dinosaurs were back then, in which he said the pteranodons, that's how they hunted their prey. I'm like, that's what they did? That exact thing, that's what was happening back then? Because, bruh, I would have loved to see that shit. But Zoro's here trying to land an attack, sending a bunch of long-range attacks while asking questions, trying to perceive exactly what's going on. I like how Zoro's trying to make sense of it, right? Because King said that's how they hunted their prey. Now Zoro's asking, okay, so I guess they flew around with fire on their backs as well. It's like, no. He's like, what? Get your story straight, bro. What is going on? All these questions is him trying to narrow down exactly what he is and who he's fighting, what he's fighting. What I like though is King is aware of his strengths. He's definitely battle tested. For Zoro, he's fighting blind. He has no idea what's going on. And King right now, he's cocky. He's talking smack. He's in Zoro's arena. He's pulled out his sword saying, all right, I'll fight with a sword because you can't compete. But he has Zoro in a quandary. He doesn't know what to do or how to defend himself, how to attack. So he has to take his time and figure it out. Again, my thoughts in the description box down below if you want to see them all, because this Zoro versus King fight, I already know it will be a classic, especially when Zoro bounces back. Now, Orochi and the end of the chapter. So we see Komurasaki, Hiyori, and Zoro Zenma react reacted to her music, which more than likely means that her father loved this music. Enma was once her father's blade, so the blade is reacting. How this aids Zoro, I don't know, but that's what's happening here. Orochi goes to the other room, sees Kurosaki, and he's crying because it's a dream and he doesn't want to wake up. Because remember back then, 920s or so, he wanted Kurosaki badly, right? Because she was the it girl in Wano. So I'm not sure what's happening here. It wasn't the end of a chapter that I necessarily liked. Like coming from Zoro versus King to this, it was somewhat of a letdown, but I know it's going to be important. So I'm not going to downplay it too much. It's just not, it wasn't that interesting to me. It's Orochi and Hiyori. And it's going to be something where more than likely we go back to the lore of Hiyori cutting down, the Yamato no Orochi. I don't know, it's cool. It's cool. We got to wait and see. I'm sure Hiyori has been waiting for this moment for a long time, where it's her and Orochi by himself, no minions, no guards. She has him to herself. A pretty good chapter. A lot of great things happened that I really loved. Man, I'm gonna just say this. King gets a lot of credit, and I'm looking at the commanders, the right hand specifically, and they're just so balanced. They don't have the top end power of the Yonko, but in regards to all around strength, they're right there. And it's crazy. Like, they're really impressive. You know what I mean? So MVP of this chapter is easily King, in my opinion. We're not gonna count out Zoro. You definitely don't count out one of the main characters, but man, King is giving it to him right now. And this is the first time in a long time, if ever, he's been thrown around like this. I mean, since Mihawk, I guess. I mean, Kuma. But it has not been like this where he's fighting someone we think he should be able to beat at some point, or he has to beat, and initially having no chance. Like Mihawk, he wasn't supposed to be Mihawk. Kuma, he wasn't supposed to be Kuma. He's supposed to beat King. So you got to figure it out, man. It's crazy. But give me your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think about the chapter. I thought, again, it was a pretty good chapter. Not the best in Wano, but not the worst, right? But give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Follow me on Twitter at BragoDAce. Follow me on Instagram at BragoD.Ace. Thank you to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Again, guys, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
I start doubting me, I felt lost. I rewrite it.